in. AT&T at the half. Your world delivered.
Brought to you by Icy Hot. It's icy to dull the pain, then hot to relax it away. And by the U.S. Navy. 43-18 the score. UAB leading Southern Miss. Now let's take a look at the first half stats presented by Head & Shoulders. And the stat that appears to be head and shoulders above for the Blazers, three-point shooting.
10 for 16 from three. UAB shooting 62.5% from three and 53.6% overall. So they're shooting much better from three than they are from two. Too many uncontested shots. That's the difference in this game. Turnovers are irrelevant because neither one of these teams turns it over much. They're the top in the nation in terms of least turnovers. They're doing that today. But this three-point shooting has been unbelievable. And again, you got to get up on people. You got Baden there. You have Kennard there. Then you got Kennard in this corner. They've spread it all over the place. So Channing Tony decides to join the fray. The three-point shooting has been phenomenal. If this was practice, those are good three-point shooting. In a game, that's a bit much. And I'll tell you one thing that I did notice, Carter, is that Larry Eustace sent his team back out with 5 minutes and 10 seconds to go at halftime. Now, as a coach, you have two choices when you're in a game like this. One, you keep them in the locker room and you blast them until there's 5 seconds to go until the game starts in the second half, or you throw them out of the locker room early. It looks to me like Larry threw them out early.
I'm going to put you on the spot and ask you about the Bob Knight halftime.
Oh, it was great. One of the greatest stories of all time. I don't know if you want it now. I can give it to you later.
Give it to me now, Steve. Why make them wait?
Well, we're in the NCAA tournament at Wake. We're playing in Wake Forest, and they were getting hammered by Colorado when they had Chauncey Billups. And we were in the locker room next door. And Indiana runs off the court at halftime, runs into the locker room, and we're standing out there. And all of a sudden, they ran in and they all run out. And they're just standing in the hallway for the entire halftime. Then one of the assistant coaches from Indiana came out and said, all right, go warm up. He threw them out of the locker room for the whole, and it was so funny because they ran in full speed, and then they all ran out full speed a second later and just stood in the hallway for the whole halftime until the coach told them to go warm up. Threw them out of the locker room.
And I believe this is the same game that Bob Knight said he didn't want to ride the bus with his team after they lost, so he walked.
He walked back to we were in the same hotel as them. He walked back to the hotel. It was about, it wasn't 20 miles, but it was 4 or 5.
Yeah.
You know, at night, he walked back to the hotel, didn't want to look at them. It was honestly one of the funniest things that I've ever seen.
Meanwhile, in this hoop game, it's Paul Delaney to the line for UAB. Paul Delaney was 6 points, 5 assists. How about, obviously when you're not making shots like Southern Miss didn't in the first half, but you go 20 minutes of basketball with only 1 assist.
Yeah, that's, now they are a driving team. They are not, now in their defense, they're not a big assist team because they go off the dribble so much. So, but 1, that's obviously poor offense.
This is R.L. Horton whipping it around to Courtney Beasley, and now Jeremy Wise slashing, dishing, but Channing Tony there to close out.
Exactly. Great close out there, Carter, because it looked like he had a shot right away, and he did a great job of closing out on that shooter.
Somewhere in that mix, a foul against UAB.
It just seems like UAB is covering all of the court that needs to be covered in their half-court defense today.
Correction, it's a travel. Thought there was a foul somewhere in that mix. The call is travel. So Southern Miss basketball. Travel against UAB, Southern Miss ball.
It'd be interesting to see how well UAB is able to keep their focus. The first minute looks like they've kept their focus. We'll see how long that can go on.
5-second count.
Well, there's part of our answer again as I speak. That's pretty good defense right there.
Turnover number 7 by Southern Miss.
I've been very impressed with Paul Delaney. I mean, when they lost him last year, that really hurt their season. This guy, as an all-around player, doing everything that needs to be done to win is very, very impressive.
Last year, UAB was 23-11. They won 12 league games. NIT, won a game in the NIT, so second round. And that was all without Paul Delaney, who missed almost the entire year with a knee injury.
He had a chance 2 years ago to be one of 3 players in the nation to average 15 points, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds. I mean, that's the kind of all-around player that he is. He's not really, he plays the point for them, not really a pure point guard, but he's able to get it done.
One of the 3,000-point scorers for UAB at the beginning of the year. They were one of only 4 teams in the country with 3,000-point scorers.
That's a pretty good class, even though obviously Delaney was a 5th-year guy.
Crawford misses the monster dunk after that feed from Vaden.
Well, instead of just dunking it, he decided he wanted to rev it up a little bit. Unnecessary. Just make the shot. You know, I can tell you this. Here you have a guy who's averaging about 7-8 points a game. How about this? Just dunk it. I mean, what? He scores so much, he's bored, so he wanted to do something a little fancier. Just put it in the basket.
He heard you were here, Steve. You want to show off for the big TV guy.
I guess. I don't know.
Courtney Beasley, the junior from Huntsville, Alabama, from Butler High School, so back playing in his native state. But it has not been a good performance for Beasley. It hasn't been a good performance for any of the Golden Eagles. Only 2 points for Courtney Beasley. He does have 4 rebounds. Meanwhile, Jeremy Wise gets that offensive foul. That's his 3rd.
And that was a pretty good call, I thought. He did use the right arm to ward off the defense.
So a slower pace here for Paul Delaney bringing it up. You know, we had that discussion earlier about a point guard, a 2 guard playing the 1, Tyreek Evans. I mean, you have Delaney bringing it up there. I mean, what would you consider him?
He's a combination guard also. Yeah, you know, he's not really a pure 2 because he's not a great 3-point shooter. He's a capable 3-point shooter. I would put him in the combination guard category. He could slash. He could, you know, he takes good shots. Obviously, when you're shooting 59% from the field as a guard, you take pretty good shots. There's no way you can't be a 3-point shooter and shoot 59%. So, I mean, he does a little everything. He's a passer, he'll rebound, he plays good defense. He's just a great guy to have on your team.
And with the 6 scholarship players, he's playing a lot of minutes. He and the producer Sean Gerchikoff on the game today. He and I visited with Paul Delaney this morning, asked him about playing all those minutes, and he says it's kind of like high school ball, like AAU ball. You just stay in the game and you play. But he says, you know, most teams have got guys fighting for minutes. We get all the minutes we want.
That must be fun. I mean, you know, you got to think, put it this way, you always got to fight with kids because they don't play enough. You're not going to fight with them because they play too much. You know what I mean? So as long as they can keep up the effort that they need, especially this late in the year, and they're going to get a good test against a pretty deep Memphis team on Thursday because Calipari's going to play 9 guys.
And that's what happened in that first meeting against Memphis, where UAB led for a good chunk of that game, but then just wearing out with the Memphis depth. Also got into foul trouble. Channing Tony in transition. Larry Eustace wants a timeout. More of the same in the second half, 3 minutes in. Southern Miss has only 1 point. They haven't hit a shot from the field. The lead is 47-19.
New gear. You need it, we've got it. Check out all the great deals at Bass Pro Shops, including the Tracker Pro 16, the absolute best value in boating for only $79.95. And for big savings and free seminars, the Spring Fishing Classic starts February 27th. Bass Pro Shops, your adventure starts here.
Looks like you're gonna need a fish finder.
They got everything.
Not everything.
That's not mine.
Yo, Rich! He said he saw 2 guys earlier. One of them was wearing a jacket.
And how does that help me?
Yo, you cover for this?
I don't know.
How could you not know?
Yo, it's not funny.
This is funny. You know what? You need to call my agent.
You should know you're covered.
Come on, man. It's not mine.
Call one of our 17,000 State Farm agents today.
Here, Daddy.
Sweet pea, apple of my eye. Don't know when.
Look, Daddy sent us a picture.
More bars in more places. That's what you can expect from AT&T. Switch to the network with the best coverage worldwide. AT&T. Get the touchscreen view for $49.99 after mail-in rebate, only from AT&T.
A 28-point lead for UAB on Southern Miss. There are 22 days left.